we naturally are. All right, so we see that we're on live and Ellie is here. Hello, Ellie, how are you?
Hello, everybody. Let me also open the spotlight.
I think I just added you. There we go.
Perfect. Hello, everybody. Yes, we are live on YouTube as well. So, welcome to day 2 of Entice Masculine Millionaire Masterclass. And if you're watching us live, you want to join the Zoom, you're gonna have to go to my bio and sign up for this masterclass. So you can join us live here on Zoom. You can ask questions. And yeah, so I'm super excited to get started for day 2. Who is excited as well? Oh yeah, as Chandra mentioned, we have of a lot of tips for you today, lots of things prepared. So we're just gonna get started to not make it too long. All right, thank you so much, Sandra, for this beautiful intro. And should we get started with the class?
Yes, absolutely. I'm really excited for today. So let's get started. Let's dive into all the material that we have prepared for everyone today.
Perfect, perfect. All right. 1 second. So today we're talking about magnetism, and we're talking about how to attract successful men. No more broke men, no more low effort men, but successful, high value men. Okay, so we're gonna be talking about this. Then we're gonna be dropping a fire offer for you, ladies. So you're gonna be like, oh, I have to join that. So that will be after the tips. And then at the end, we're going to have a Q&A. We have a few prepared questions. And if you have also questions, you are more than welcome to ask them, okay? Good, 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 good. So you can remove your spotlight, Shanza, for now, okay? We can bring it you on later. I'm gonna share the screen. Okay, that doesn't work well. 1 second. I think now it's working. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay. So Shanza, just for us, anytime you talk, add yourself a spotlight, okay?
Yes, yes, that sounds good. I realized I was muted and I'm here talking. I'm like, yeah, sure. I was muted the whole time.
Okay, okay. Yeah, we have to record it also. All right. Good. So welcome to day 2 of Entice Masculine Millionaires. And let's get started. So, as I mentioned, we're talking about how can you step into magnetism and how can you attract top 1% men, like wealthy men today and tomorrow. Don't forget, ladies, tomorrow we are going to be talking about how can you start inspiring a man to treat you with high effort. How can you inspire a man to treat you like, maybe can you share a few words about tomorrow, Shanza?
Okay, so can everyone hear me now?
Okay, otherwise I will just, yeah, perfect.
Okay, okay. I'm sorry, can you repeat yourself, Ellie?
Okay, yeah, so for tomorrow we're going to talk about how can you attract high standard, like we're going to talk about standards, boundaries, how you can, share a few words about tomorrow, please.
Yeah, no, tomorrow is really exciting. Tomorrow is where we're talking more. Like today, I feel like we're giving a lot of tips today, and then tomorrow we get to dive into really attracting masculine men. So while today is all about magnetism, today is all about how you can really become the best version of yourself. Today is about to like really tapping into becoming a magnetic woman. Tomorrow, we get to dive into more of an action strategy. So while today is more embodiment and more magnetism, we get to tomorrow talk about how to attract and keep high quality masculine energy top 1% men. So this means this is where we like really talk about evoking masculinity in men. We're going to go more into talking about the how of it, while today is more of the how on feminine energy becoming magnetic. So ladies, if you have questions, like feel free to ask about the presentation, what we have in store for you. Let us know in the comments. We'll be more than happy to clarify if anything is not making sense, or if anything needs, if you need us to dive more into detail for you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Shanza. Good. So let's start with the magnetism now. So the main problem usually is that as a successful woman, as a successful woman, you have your career, you are, educated, you learn a lot, you work a lot. Everything is amazing, but a lot of the times things do backfire. They do backfire as a successful woman, because the tools that we are kind of like using are not the tools that we need to be magnetic. Okay, so men fizzle out, men fizzle out. You might not be able to find high quality, good men. Let me know also, ladies, in the comments, what kind of issues you are having in dating, okay? Okay, while we wait in the comments, I can already do this. So usually the issues are, and let me know if this resonates, that men just fizzle out. Even if you find a good man, they fizzle out. Or sometimes you can't even attract good men. The only men that you attract are lazy, low effort men. So yesterday we talked a lot about the stories in our own life, in our clients' life. So make sure to go back to yesterday, because you will understand yourself more. You will be able to apply this knowledge today much more if you watched yesterday, because you will just be like, oh wow, okay, yeah, that's me. I also had those problems. So today we are giving you the solutions to the problems, but you need the embodiment, which is the activation from yesterday, and also the foundation of knowledge. What exactly is going on? Because sometimes we're just so confused. What is going on, right? And then no matter how much you study, how much you learn about feminine energy, about all of those things you learn on TikTok, YouTube, you duct tape those informations, no matter how much you try, it is just not bringing you the result that you want. And you find yourself frustrated, doing more, checking your phone. So let's change that today. So in order to attract high value men, high value treatment, yeah, we're going to talk about high value treatment tomorrow, and we're going to talk about commitment tomorrow. But there are three more steps that you have to do first, okay? So we all want the results, but there are a few steps that you need to learn first to get the results. Just like, we want the results of maybe a good body, but then, we have to fix our sleep schedule first, the workout routine, the food that we are eating. So that's why, even though maybe you feel like, okay, it's not, is it related to the results? It is. So tomorrow we will bring it all together. But these are the steps that you've got to do that are proven. We've coached hundreds of women through this process in the last years, proven steps that you can attract high value men. And as you can see, my beautiful client Diana, her story is yesterday, so I'm not going to repeat today. You can watch yesterday's recording, but she completely transformed her life with exactly the system, with the strategy, with the embodiment, And of course, she was, working with me one-on-one. So she had also strategy that was tailored to her perfectly. Okay, so what is the foundation work, the strategy that you have to do to attract commitment, high effort treatment, top 1% men? You've got to learn magnetism, okay? You've got to learn communication and an abundant mindset. And we will split this up today. So don't worry, we are going to be talking about this in just a second. Okay. Yes, let's talk about magnetism. Oh, the slides. So let's talk about magnetism. Imagine you're the woman here on the right side, you can see her having multiple options of top men who are educated, who are millionaires, wanting to propose to you, bring your flowers, asking for a date. And yesterday we did this meditation, remember, where I talked about the door. So a lot of the times women don't want to be magnetic because they feel like I'm going to be magnetic to anyone and anything. And it's kind of true. I'm not going to lie to you. It is true. You're going to be magnetic to every man, but you don't want every man. So, you've got to really embody the power of choosing. And that comes with standards and boundaries, which we will talk about tomorrow. So everything kind of like comes together like a perfect recipe for a perfect whatever food you like. Okay, so you're gonna be magnetic and it's gonna look like a ton of men wanting to talk to you, and you're gonna have to filter out, yes. But before you have so many men wanting to talk to you, especially high value men, let's talk about how you can step into that magnetism. So again, yesterday we did the embodiment of that. Make sure that you repeat that meditation. But today we talk about the strategy. So the problem is, as a successful woman, you are working, you are stressful, you're stressed out, and let me know if this resonates with you. I mean, even though I just work because it's fun for me, because I love working, because, because this is just my life's purpose. And honestly, I don't really know what to do else. I have already just traveled the world the last 2 years. I've been like spending hours on the beach, sitting my coconut. So um technically I don't have to work. I'm fully provided for. I have really multiple income streams and my business pretty much automated. So I do it because I want to. And yet, when I'm, for example, working as a coach, I still bring my masculine energy and I have fun, but obviously it's a little bit stressful, but that's completely fine. But when you are working, maybe you are a dentist, or maybe you are helping out in a company or whatever position, or maybe you are in the medical field, even though you might be enjoying your work, it's still always stressful, right? Because you use your masculine energy and you are very much activated. By the way, Shanza, if you ever want to add something, you're welcome. Just letting you know. So you're always activated when you are working. And the problem is that when you want to be magnetic, okay, when you want to be magnetic, this energy isn't necessarily magnetic. In this state where you're just working, at some point you might even feel like a little bit burned out, and you might seek relaxation, you might seek fun. Like yesterday, maybe you saw me, I posted on my Instagram, I was just like in the gym for 3 hours. That's way too long for me. Usually I'm in the gym just 1 hour, but I was just relaxing and I really was tapping into my magnetic feminine energy. And by the way, ladies, it's not just to be magnetic to men. It's a nice side effect, but it's not just for that. It's also for me to not get into burnout. As much as I love working, if I do too many slides per day, too many offers, too many clients, I also could get burnout. So I step into my feminine magnetism for me to sleep better, to have like this relaxed state, to have some sort of excitement and life force energy in me. So you see, it's not only for men, it's also for me. But a lot of the times we are just like stuck in this doing. And then even I yesterday, although I do this work for many years, had to start, I just wasted the whole evening. I was 3 hours in the gym, watched 1 hour TV. I wasted my whole evening. And I was like, no, I need to step into my magnetism and being in the gym. Like I have like a really amazing gym membership, talking to some friends there, doing some exercises, having we have like some massage tools there. It really helped me get into my body, listening to some music. And I felt magnetic and I felt alive for myself, and the guys are the side effect. Shanza, you want to add something on that?
Yes, I do want to add, actually, I love the point where you brought up, I don't need to work, but I want to. And I love that so much because it is true. So for me personally, like with now being married, I've been married to my husband for, like I said, we'll be celebrating 7 years. And excuse me, I am pregnant now, and this is something I actually had a conversation with my mom. She was like, "You're pregnant. You don't need to stress. Why are you?" She was talking about I was working on a project for my business, and she's like, "Why are you even doing this on the phone?" And she's like, "You're going to stress yourself out. You're going to stress your baby out." And I told her that this is something that I'm doing because I want to. It's not something that I have to do because I'm coming from, and we're going to talk about the abundance mindset as well in this, in today's masterclass in day 2 today. But basically, like, I'm not coming from that scarcity mindset of I have to work. Otherwise, like, I'm going to be on the streets or something like that. My husband is the one that pays all my bills. I don't have to like bring in any income if I don't want to. And that's what I was referring to earlier when I was speaking to you ladies, that it's not about like having a partner in life where you're like grinding together and stressing together. It's that like my husband has his goals, his aspirations, he's ambitious on his own, and then me on my own. And we get to be in a space together in a relationship where we bounce off of each other, where we're inspiring one another. And that deepens the attraction, that deepens the connection, the compatibility between me and my husband, which again, going back to what Ellie was saying, that you don't, it's like being in a place of abundance where you're being provided for. You don't need to do anything. So again, like again, if you're a nurse, if you're like in the medical field, you're doing it because you enjoy helping people. And that's why you're working. And when you really like, it can get stressful, yes. And when you allow yourself to have a balance within, like an internal balance of energies where you're balancing your masculine and your feminine energy, you really get to actually enjoy the fruits of your labor. So if you're working so hard at work, whether you're a coach, whether you're a businesswoman, whether you're in the corporate world, whatever it is that you're doing to um like provide for yourself, that's your masculine energy. And you should absolutely be so insanely proud of your masculine side, because it's what makes you sustainable in this life, right? Like, let's be honest, if you didn't work, especially being a single independent woman, you're independent because you work so hard, and you should absolutely celebrate your success. We're not here to say that masculine energy is bad at all, because again, we are female entrepreneurs ourselves. We are coaches. When we're coaching our clients, when we're guiding our clients, when we're giving knowledge to our clients, we're coming from that masculine energy, right? But that's where we get to allow ourselves to leave the masculine where work is at. And then when it comes to our romantic relationships, we get to step into our feminine so that we can have
Yes.
that clarity.
Yes, perfect, perfect. Thank you so much, Shanza, for sharing. Thank you so much. And now, so when you are because you are a driven woman, even if you're fully provided for, I'm very sure you still are going to be doing something. Just like, as I mentioned, I was just traveling the world and I'm like, okay, it's nice, but I can't leave my ladies. I have to keep helping them. That's my mission. And Yet you need to kind of like balance that out. You need to go from the masculine side, which is amazing. I love my masculine side. My masculine side helps thousands of women attracting their dream life. So masculine is amazing. I love my masculine side, but also the feminine is the life force energy. The feminine is the recharging energy. And one thought I always had is like, I'm wasting my time doing that. I'm wasting my time resting. I'm wasting my time going to the gym for 3 hours. And from the masculine perspective, maybe, but how does it look like usually? How does it look like if we don't have feminine energy even within us? Sugar cravings, binge eating sugar, binge watching TV. And I'm not saying there's something wrong with watching a little show, but like binge watching TV, binge watching sugar, maybe even kind of like being extremely magnetized to feminine men, like those low effort men who are just like cool dancing around, but maybe they know how to flirt, they have swag, and they make you feel alive. But then all of these things have side effects. They do. Like binge watching TV has side effects because you're literally wasting your time. Eating too much sugar is not healthy. Some people start drinking. Some people, are super magnetized to feminine men, which you for sure don't want to date because it ends up in crying. I mean, not for every woman, but for me, I speak for myself. Because then you're like, okay, he is cool, he's exciting, but can he do something for me? Can he at least be loyal or commit? Right? And the good news is, ladies, that you don't have to look for that feminine energy somewhere else. You don't have to look in it in binge eating sugar. I'm just speaking for myself. I used to be like so sugar addicted, really, because I needed like this feminine energy to feel something. Feminine energy is about feelings, to feel something. And I was just drawn to feminine men because I was just like working, not sleeping enough. I had many goals. And once I realized that, okay, I do have to balance it out. And the beauty of it is I'm a woman. I'm literally the source of feminine energy. If I tap into that, I only have to put in my head that it's not a waste of time if I connect to my feelings, if I make myself feel alive. And I just saw a comment coming. Um, dancing around, yeah, always partying around. Those feminine guys are those always partying around. And there is a reason why we like them. Because if we are ourselves missing that feminine energy, that excitement, that feeling alive, we're going to be seeking that in other sources. We're going to be magnetized to them. Just like this picture you're just seeing, it's magnetic to each other.
That is a really good point, Ali, where when we are in our again, there's nothing wrong with masculine energy, like I said. I love masculine energy because it allows me to do everything I want to do for myself that I don't need anyone else, right? I love that that I can be self-sustainable and not just be like a helpless doormat just waiting for someone to come save me. That's what masculine energy takes you out of. But when you are consistently hyper masculine and you are completely disconnected from your feminine energy, which already is within you, it's not anything external, you already have it, you just have to tap into it. And when you're not
And
tapping into it, I'm sorry, go ahead, Ali.
I wanted to add, and our society is teaching us that this is the right way to live. Like when we are at our jobs, do we get praise or paid for relaxing? Nope. When we go to university or school, do we get a good grade just because we are relaxing, just because we are in our feminine energy? No. That's why I was also so confused. Why does everything that I'm doing right backfires in dating? And why am I so burnt out? I was so burnt out. I started attracting chronic fatigue, pain in my whole body. Like I started getting sick because of that burnout. Like that's another story. But yeah, our society teaches us to just reward masculine energy. And as a woman that I know you are, a high achieving driven woman, obviously you will just value that and label anything else as waste of energy. But today, that's the secret. I'm gonna also teach you how to still be successful while also using your feminine energy. Okay, so we use the magnetism also for money. We're not gonna go deep here, but there is a way. There is a way. Okay, I'll let you finish, Shanza, and then I will continue with the presentation.
No, the only thing I was adding was that when we are in our masculine so much, and again, because society rewards us for being overly hyper masculine, that you get really disconnected from your feminine. So like you were at the gym for 3 hours listening to music, you were really in your feminine, and then in your mind you had a setback where you're like, oh, I'm wasting so much time. But no, you were just giving yourself time. You were just really enjoying your time. And that is what feminine energy really is essentially. It's that energy where you can relax and add to yourself and fill your own cup up. And when we are not doing that, when we are consistently in hyper masculine energy, that is where we are attracting low vibrational, or not low, I would say more so of feminine energy men, the passive men, the broke, the lazy, the non-committal, the ones who ghost you, the ones who cheat on you, the ones who don't actually see your value because you are in such go, go, go mode that you're not able to really relax and receive. So you're consistently giving.
And I want to add one thing here is that feminine energy doesn't equally mean that you're gonna be broke. So we're not trying to tell you go get broke, go get lazy. Okay, we are going to teach you the balance. Okay, so in your career, in your job, keep your masculine energy. Yeah, all of the things that feminine energy is for your relaxing time. You know, is for you to balance that out because you need that balance. Okay, so um, don't be scared. If you learn feminine energy, you're gonna be using that maybe 2, 3 hours a day on a date. You're gonna be using that on a date, and so it's gonna be serving you if you want to attract masculine men. And those feminine men that we are talking about, if they would still use their masculine energy in their careers and only on dates would use their feminine energy, that would be fine. Then they wouldn't be broke either. But you see, it's about the balance. So I just wanted to add this so that it's not misunderstood. Okay, let's go back to the presentation. So, by the way, I also have a course which is also going to be a bonus in the offer we will share with you later. Get ready for a date with a millionaire, and that teaches you strategy. I think it's 6 steps how to get from your masculine energy into the feminine energy to help you relax, so you can sleep better, you can recover, you are grounded, and you're full of excitement and life force energy. Okay, so you will get this as a bonus for Magnetic Muse, but stay tuned, we will talk about that later. But I will already give you a little bit of tips how you can switch from the masculine to feminine energy so that you can yourself relax and you yourself can avoid burnout and you can be magnetic to masculine men who are high effort, who want to do things for you, who want to provide and protect and commit. Okay, magnetism, yeah? Ask yourself, how do I feel today? Why is the feeling so important? The feeling is so important because remember how I shared yesterday, I went to a gym, I listened to music. What does music does to us? We start feeling emotions. It's like an angry song. I personally love when I have when I want to feel angry, I would listen to Linkin Park, like a little bit aggressive and angry sometimes. Sometimes I use these songs in my playlist as well, especially when I work out. But then we also have happy songs, or we have sad songs, and all of the emotions are available in the music, right? That's why music is just also so magnetic. What else? Little babies, little kids, why are they so magnetic? Because they are full of emotions, energy, emotion. Or movies. Why do we love binge watching Netflix? Because it allows us to connect to our feminine energy, to our emotions, and it is magnetic. So that's why I was saying that if we don't do this actively, it will anyways come. Maybe through binge eating sugar. I don't know how you feel, but I used to be sugar addicted because it made me feel happy and alive, you know? So, and I needed to feel something. And that is why when you connect to your emotions, you ask yourself, how do I feel today? Okay, so do the switch from working. When you're on your masculine energy, you suppress your emotions a little bit. And it's normal and it's important. Right now, even if I have some kind of things on my head or emotions, I suppress them. It's on the side because I'm focused on this masterclass. I will take care of that later. Okay, but when you're in your feminine energy, later, for example, I would just ask myself, how am I feeling right now? Do I need something? Okay, that you access your emotions. And one thing I'd like to share, I remember when I started doing this work, I had a really difficult time connecting to my emotions. I was scared of my emotions. So I needed a coach who would talk to me one-on-one or in a group to really help me connect to that. And if you right now feel like I can't connect to my emotions, then you definitely should consider working with me and Shanza because we are going to be able to help you with that. Also, another thing that came up for me, because I suppressed a lot negative emotions throughout my life. I had traumatic incidents. Whenever I connected to emotions, it was just so weird. Fear came up, or some kind of like guilt or stress, or literally fear of no money, fear of being abandoned, fear of men rejecting me. And I was like, I'm supposed to connect to emotions. When I connect to emotions, I am just in fear, negativity. I don't want like this negative emotions. And for that, there's also a thing. Okay, so I had to really do trauma healing, negative emotions releasing, and I had to learn emotional mastery. But we're not going to touch on that here. All of that is what you learn in our coaching containers. We will talk about this later. Because if you try to connect to emotions and if you're good, great. But if you are having issues or if you are um, connecting to emotions and fear comes up or doubt, negativity, and you're like, you know what, that holds me back in my life, we've got to work on that. Just know that there is a way out, and I've done it too. So whenever I connect to my emotions now, all of the fear, negativity from my childhood, whatever negative experience or traumas I had, they're all gone. I connect to my emotions, I feel grounded, peaceful, and happy most of the time. And you can do that too. But when you connect to your emotions and all of this negative baggage is gone, this is when you feel alive. This is when you feel um this is when you feel energized, and this is when you are magnetic to men. Remember, men are the opposite of children. We are kind of like, as women, especially when we connect to our emotions, kind of in the middle. So men are oftentimes not so much connected to their emotions. Some men are balanced, but we're going to also talk about this tomorrow. But especially when you are in your feminine energy, you're connected to your emotions, you're connected to your body, you inspire a man to be more in his masculine. That's why we talk about inspire him to be more in his masculine by you connecting to your emotions, by you receiving. And we're talking about this today. I think, Shanza, you wanted to share anything?
I do, yes. I wanted to kind of piggyback on what you were saying with this is when we as women connect to our emotions, ladies, like not only is it important for you to, like Ellie said, to release your trauma, to really connect within, it's also that when it comes to your romantic connections, you do really connect with a man's heart and create that deeper level attraction. A lot of the times we think that if we show men how smart we are, how beautiful we are, if we show him that we're successful, or oh, like I have a small waist or something. We think these are the things that make men fall in love with us or that, magnetize attraction, but that's not true. It's really inner feminine energy, which is very heavily tied with your emotions. So this is very important for you to, if you're not taking notes, I highly recommend that you're taking notes as Ellie is speaking, because when you connect with your own heart, with your own emotions, you inspire a very deeper level of attraction in a man, which is what leads to commitment, which is what makes a man see you as the woman of his dreams, the type of woman he cannot imagine being without, because not every woman can connect with him on an emotional, deeper level, because a lot of women are connecting on that surface level. So that's the only one little thing that I wanted to add on here. If you want to have fun.
Perfect, perfect. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. And one more other thing is that I don't suggest you to be, if you're in negative emotions, fear, anxiety, drama, the truth is you will be more magnetic than just being disconnected and always in do masculine mode. But you're not gonna attract high value men. You're not gonna attract successful men. Healthy men are not available for that. Some men who also are addicted to struggle and drama and might be available for that, but they are not going to be successful. Because the truth is success, people who are successful are emotionally regulated. Okay. Sometimes they are also emotionally numb. We can get stuff done when we numb our emotions. But if a man connects with you and you are always in negativity and drama and all of that, you're not going to attract a high value man. So that's why I was saying, if you notice yourself being there, absolutely make this goal for yourself to learn emotional mastery and release the baggage that causes those negative emotions so that you can attract high value men. Okay, so how do I feel today? You can literally write this down right now. Okay, the other thing that I want you to do every single day to connect to your emotion, to connect to your body, is connecting to your five senses. When we're always like in this go, 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 do mode, as a successful woman, always trying to achieve something else, learn something else, do something else, earn more money, if you're in university, better grades, if you're an entrepreneur, to scale your business, take time to really feel, how am I feeling tonight? At least 1 hour or half an hour before you sleep. You will sleep so much better, I promise you. Just like connect, how am I feeling? Or connect to your five senses. What's around you? What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell when you're eating? Really fully connect to your body when you're eating. What do I taste? How does this food smell? And you can like squeeze your own hand or something like that. Touch. How does it feel when I touch my own hand? So connect to your five senses. That is going to make you magnetic. Just like, because you are going to be a person who's connected to your emotions. You're going to be magnetic like the flowers are to the bee because they smell so good. Like little babies are magnetic because they're full of emotion, full of life force energy. Like little big dogs are magnetic too. Animals are connected to the intuition, to their emotions. And they're not in their head, right? Because when we are in our head, yes, we get things done, we're in our masculine energy, but men stop having interest, they fizzle out. And let me share with you one story. After I learned this, every single guy, always were hooked. We're like, I want to see you again. I want to see you again. There's no way. I need to see you again. Okay. And I was like, whoa, I'm feeling magnetic. I'm feeling desired. Great. So I remember back then I still had my job in a bank. I wasn't a coach yet, and I already practiced that. And I was like, okay, everything is working out perfectly. Great. I'm magnetic. Before that, men would ghost me and not even like they would friend zone me. Even though I was good looking, I look literally even the same or even better than now. They would friend zone me. And I was like, okay, let's learn this. So every single man was like, oh, I got to see you again. You're just magnetic. And then there was one incident where there was a guy that was a coach. I think he was a life coach. And because I loved so much this topic, I was like in my head. I was like talking about business with him, asking him about the strategy, completely disconnected from my emotions. I mean, I was excited, but I was more in like this do, um, get the things done mode. Trying to make my business partner. I'm laughing about this because I was just excited I was planning to become a coach, and this was a very interesting topic for me. And then later he didn't call me back. And then it was strange because I already like embodied this magnetism, and I literally asked him because I just wanted to have some feedback. So what's the reason that you didn't call me back? And he was like, honestly, I don't know. You are beautiful. You are my type. You know, you're also like smart, successful, but I just didn't feel it with you. Like, like this gut level attraction was missing. I'm like, I know. Unfortunately, I know. So it is how it is.
That is a really good story, Ellie. That shows so much like when we are not in tune with our senses, we are not in tune with our body and our emotions. We are all up here, completely disconnected from our body. We are in our heads. We are constantly like in our thoughts and our limiting fears and beliefs. We are so out of touch of our femininity. And the thing about, being in tune with your senses, again, the five senses, like it's a method where it's like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is a really great exercise you could do when you're on a date. You could even do it on like for 5 minutes, 2 minutes, actually, less than a minute is where you're, looking at five things. You notice, can you identify five things that you're seeing? Can you, are there four things that you can touch, three things that you can hear, two things that you can smell, one thing that you can actually taste, even if it's like ice cold water, just something to really, really like bring you back into your body. Because, like Ellie said, there is nothing more attractive to a masculine man than a woman who is in her feminine, in her body. So the one of the fastest ways to do that is to connect with your senses. So I'm really, really happy that Ellie, you shared this beautiful story, because it shows a man can be like, you're so beautiful, like everything about you is like, you're my type, everything is great, but just still not feel that connection because the energy is disconnected.
Yes, this it just feels like mm, watching a movie that's boring. It's like, yeah, I just didn't feel it. I'm not recommending this movie. It was just like watching a documentary about like a very boring documentary. Yeah, it's just not magnetic, it's not exciting. The things that go viral, the movies, are the ones that create emotions in us. Okay, so we've got that. And then if you sign up for Magnetic Muse, you are also going to get the Magnetic Woman Masterclass. So I'm also sharing a lot of more tools in there in all life areas, to be magnetic to clients, to be magnetic only to men, to be magnetic generally, to be magnetic in life. Okay, so this is something you're gonna get as a bonus if you join our offer later. Okay, but get started with the tips we gave you today here and see how everything shifts. All right, so another thing that you need as a foundation to attract top 1% men, to attract healthy masculine men, to be treated with high effort, to receive the commitment, is having the right communication. Because when we communicate not in a good way with men, they cannot hear us. They will actually rebel against us. Like, men have a high ego. And then one mistake that I used to do was like, because I was just used to being a CEO, okay? And I was used to always being the leader. I was always the leader. Because I was also an immigrant, and my parents, my aunts and uncles, no one could speak the language. I had to always decide everything. I had to do all the paperwork, and I was the oldest from my siblings and cousins. So I was like always the leader. I was just really used to leading the family. Um, you know, and also in school, I would just always get into this leader role. And later I was like, of course, I'm a leader. I'm becoming a CEO after finishing my high school, after university, even during university. I already opened my own business. I had some real estate, I had some sales here and there, but I wasn't passionate about it. So I switched to being a coach because I'm super passionate about coaching you and helping you ladies. But I was like, yeah, I'm a leader. So of course I tell people what to do, you know? So I was like very straightforward. But when it came to dating, I would be like, just do it, get it done. Let's do this, let's do this. And of course, masculine men would get triggered and run away from me. Only feminine men who were like, yes, tell me what to do. We're gonna do that. Well, up for it. So I had to switch my communication from guiding people or telling them straight what to do, because that really isn't magnetic to men. In career, yes, they will respect you and just do it. Like I have employees who are also male doing some stuff for me. I just tell them what to do. It's done, perfect. But when it comes to dating, I want you to again share your feelings. Let me give you an example. Okay. So imagine your fiance, your husband, your boyfriend, a guy that you're seeing, you tell him to, or you want him to cut an ananas. I don't know, I have to bring this example because it was a real life example. So what I usually, as a high achieving woman, would say is that, okay, here's the ananas, here's the knife, cut it, do it like this, and okay, then it's done, do it for me. Do you think he would feel inspired to cherish my feelings and do things for me? He'd be like, no, do it yourself. You know, you do it for me. But if I would share my feelings, like, I just feel like eating an ananas. That would be so nice to just like eat this ananas right now. And then I would add, would you want to cut this for me? Now I'm sharing my desire, I'm sharing my feeling. A man usually feels like, if I do this for her, I'll be her hero. And then we have to like end it with appreciation because he needs appreciation to feel like a hero. Okay. So if he gives me this, he cut this ananas for me, and then he gives this for me, and I'm like, okay, thank you. And I'm thinking in my head, which is true. Okay, it's not a big deal. I could have done it myself. Like, who cares? I can cut it even better than him. He cut half the ananas away. He doesn't know how to like do the perfect technique like I know. So imagine I like disqualify him or just like be like, okay, it's nothing. He will not feel like doing it again. And even you as we all have masculine energy, imagine you cut an ananas for your sister or for your friend and she's like, okay, thank you, or even criticize you how you cut too much. Would you feel inspired to do it again? Probably not, right? Like you want to be appreciated. So the right communication is to share your feelings, share your desire, share your problem in feeling statements. Shansa, do you want to add something to that?
Yes, absolutely. So, this is the whole I feel statement. By the way, ladies, this was a game changer for me. This was huge. This is one of the big things that transformed my romantic life is learning how to communicate with men through my feelings and not just like telling them, what I want. Because when you tell a man, they kind of feel, especially if you're dealing with a masculine man, they're going to feel smothered. They're going to feel like you're trying to mother them. And again, like Ellie said, men have high egos. So when you're coming from your masculine energy, what ends up happening is that he feels like now you're in a competition with him. It like you're like, why would you tell me to, cut it yourself, like Ellie said, why are you telling me to cut the ananas, but if you tell him how much it means to you and how happy it would make you feel, and you're expressing that desire, now he feels like I get to be a man, she's being a woman, so I get to be a man. And again, it has nothing necessarily to do with gender, but it is more so of majority of women want to be feminine, majority of men want to be masculine, but because there's an internal energetic disconnect within us, high achieving women, we tend to, and we're so used to the men, like Ellie said, that stuck around were feminine energy men who were like, yes, like tell me what to do, I'll do it, I'll follow your lead, versus having leadership of their own. When it comes to communicating, expressing what you want to do, how you're feeling in the moment, like, and it's really easy again if you do stay in tune with your five senses. So for example, if I'm like talking about how I'm going to use ice cold water because it's right here. If I'm like, I really want some cold water, that's something that I would like express. Like, let's say to my husband, instead of saying, hey, can you get me a glass of cold water? He's gonna look at me like, sure, like, okay. It can even come off rude, without we even, like, we don't even realize when we come from that, when we talk to men, like we would talk to, for example, like our friends, it's it can even come off rude because again, you're disrupting that polarity that creates magnetic attraction between you and your man. But if I was to tell my husband, like, it would make me feel so refreshed. And I know that it's going to make me feel refreshed because again, being in tune with my five senses, knowing how it feels in my body. So drinking cold water makes me feel refreshed. So like telling him that it would make me feel so refreshed if I could just drink some cold water right now. I really want some ice cold water. Now, like it makes him want to be the hero. And again, appreciation, where now if he brings it to me, I'm like, thank you so much. It's like positive reinforcement because it makes him like when you say thank you to a man and you genuinely mean it, you're really coming from a place of gratitude. It makes him feel like she's not using me, she actually appreciates me. And it's human nature. We love being around people that make us feel good about ourselves. So when we say thank you to a man for even the smallest thing that he did, like it could be him holding the door for you, bringing you water, cutting the ananas, like even the smallest things, and you say thank you so much, like now I feel so refreshed. I feel so happy that you brought this for me or you did this for me even though you didn't have to and you still chose to. I really appreciate you. It makes him want to do more and more and more. So it's not just about cold water. You could get it yourself, right? But what you
Yeah.
just did is you magnetized that attraction and you made him want to do more for you and you deepened that connection between the two of you.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing. So, why is that important? One of the things that I thought is like, why does he have to do it for me? I can get my own water, I can cut my own ananas. Because honestly, it is romantic. It's I personally technically would like to receive that. And second most important point is that if a man does things for you. He invests his time, energy, money. He goes buys this ananas for you. He's learning online how to cut the ananas perfectly. He does that for you. He is falling in love. Men fall in love differently than women. Women fall in love by spending time with a man and also sharing a lot of experiences, time, also a lot through intimacy. Yeah, and men mostly fall in love through action, through investing the time, energy, and money. That is why this step is so important. Also for tomorrow, where we talk about commitment and high effort treatment, when you evoke his masculinity. We'll talk about this topic more tomorrow, but I just wanted to touch on communication. And I also wanted to touch on the point that a lot of our clients, when they talk to a guy and they're not really sure what to answer, what to say, it's really, really a nice feature. And I had that too when I was like learning how to, I even right now have that support where I can go on Telegram, where I can go on, any chatting app and ask my coach, hey, how do I tell this to my date? How do I tell to my fiance? How do I tell this to my husband? And then, the coach can help us because even now, although I am since over 5 years a dating relationship coach, I still want to grow. Okay, I'm in a good place, but I'm still growing. I'm expanding, um, feeling more loved, receiving more money, receiving more love and everything. And I still sometimes, in my own emotions, and I want to ask my coach, how do I do that? And then it's so amazing to receive that kind of support in between. And that is why I'm spoiling it a little bit. In our Magnetic Muse offer, we also have in between Telegram days where you can just hop in and ask a question. Okay, I'm dating this guy. What do I tell him? Or I'm dating this guy. What would I do? Or my husband did this. How do I communicate with him that I want him to bring out the trash without him getting defensive again? So you get to ask those questions in between. But we already wanted to give you a lot of tools as much as we can in this masterclass. So definitely apply those tips, treat it like a $10,000 offer, because honestly, it is. You get so much value if you really apply that. You get the tips, you get the embodiment. So we are just obsessed and excited for you to be successful in dating, because we've done the transformation and we believe that every woman deserves that. Okay, so with that, we go to the last point.
I just really quickly wanted to say, before we move on, ladies, if you
Sure.
have any questions so far, like don't hesitate to ask. Let us know in the comments if you need any clarity, if you need us to explain anything further as we're sharing these tips with you and why these tips are so important for you to become magnetic and for you to have the relationship you want. If you're confused, if you need more clarity, if something is not making sense, like do let us know in the comments. So I just wanted to like do some housekeeping here and just like say that, because I don't want you to hesitate and shy away. This is like your opportunity to get the clarity, get the answers that you even came here for.
Yes, and if anyone is watching the replay, if you have questions, make sure to email those questions to me. You have my email because you received the invitation, right? And if anyone is watching on YouTube live, also the replay, if you want to join us live here on Zoom, you have to go to my bio and sign up for the Entice Masculine Millionaire Masterclass. You will immediately receive the Zoom link to join. Good. So let's move on to the last point for today. And that is, how can you attract top 1% men? How can you attract wealthy men? As I mentioned, ladies, my personal story was that I was attracting broke men. I was attracting broke men who were living with their mom, asking the mom to pay everything, even at age of 45. Like, it didn't matter how old they are. You could say, oh, because he was 20 years old. No, that was their personality. It was really embarrassing. And I would attract those type of men who either were like living with the parents, or maybe they were having their own apartment, but they would just like earn the bare minimum, always saying, I'm too broke to buy anything in a restaurant. You can only ask for tap water. Like, this is literally what was happening. And I just like, I'm like laughing so much right now, but you can imagine back then I was like, why? Why is this happening? And then I myself worked on abundant mindset to be more successful, but I worked from my masculine energy. So I was like the woman that would study more. I always loved to study, get more education, open new businesses. And even though I grew my own income, I realized not not only did I attract broke men, they started asking me for money. They started asking me to buy them stuff and lend them money. And I was like, okay, that is just getting even worse. you know? Like, what's going on? I started stepping into abundant mindset, but it was from my masculine side, because I would get things done, be always in my masculine. And it was great because I earned more money. Like, that is abundant mindset. But also with money, just like in relationship, you can be the feminine or the masculine. You can be the one who's doing, or receiving. So I had to learn to step into the abundant mindset from a way of being magnetic, okay? Being magnetic to money. And that was a game changer for my own life, in my own business even. I felt like, wow, money can be so easy. I get to be magnetic for money. I get to make my clients feel like I'm showing the credit card on the screen. Like, I don't have to chase clients. I don't have to convince anyone. No, my clients want to work with me. So I learned how to be magnetic also in my business, and also how to be in my feminine of receiving, because when you're in your masculine, and it is all about doing. And again, in business, there is obviously a cap to that, because I always deliver value. I over deliver value. I always have help with my clients, and I give results. I give the hours, but it still helped me. But when it looks like in dating, is that you are an abundant mindset, but you are capable of receiving from a man. You're capable of receiving from a wealthy man. No, I remember I actually started dating then millionaires, and one time a guy told me, it was literally first date, and he was like, "Oh, it's really cold. It was really winter, and you don't have proper winter shoes." I literally didn't. I don't know why I didn't, but I just didn't. Honestly, I didn't even mind. Like, I don't know. I'm just not so cold. I grew up in a cold country. I don't know. I'm just not so cold. And he was like, "Let me get you those amazing winter shoes," and they were like designer for $2,000. And I was like, "No, you're not buying me anything." And later I thought, like, why am I rejecting that? Why am I rejecting men wanting to get me stuff? Why am I rejecting a man wanting to do things for me? Because I could not receive. And this is a tip I'm going to give you today to receive, but it's not that simple because I had like 10,000 stories in my head. For example, if I receive something from you, then you will want something from me. That's kind of like the business thoughts, or when you are in your career, you do something and then only then you receive the money. So in career and in business, it's appropriate, but in dating, it isn't because you have the polarity, feminine, masculine. Okay, so let me share with you here a little bit more. And yeah, so dating skills, being able to receive are dating skills. Being able to be an abundant mindset, but in your feminine receiving energy are also dating skills. There are so many more, but we can't cover all of them here. Okay. But abundant mindset, when you're in your masculine do energy, you yourself will still have money. Okay. So you will get your education, you will get a job, do things, and you will have money. Great. But if you want to attract masculine, not feminine, masculine millionaires, masculine successful men, you're gonna get used to receiving. Like imagine this lady, if you see her here, do you think that if you see her, like if this guy wants to invite her on this airplane or whatever, do you think she will say, "No, I'm not coming. I have to pay 50%, only then I'm coming"? Then he would probably see her as a business partner and then let her pay this 50%. And this is how I behaved. I was like, "No, I'm not receiving that from you. I pay my part. And even if I pay everything, I feel even better." And also, I had to kind of like find peace and pride in receiving. And I had personally so many meanings around it. I was thinking like, okay, but if he invites me on this airplane and I don't pay 50% of that flight, he will think I'm broke, or he will think that I'm using him maybe, or he will want something back from me. And I want to be proud. I want to pay for myself because I am proud. Ladies, and technically, we are not doing that even for us. We are doing that for the guy because you can pay, of course. I could pay for whatever I wanted to pay. I could pay for any restaurant bill, you know, but we're not doing that for us. The problem is that there literally isn't 50-50 because either there is literally no passion because there isn't this polarity. If you pay for stuff, he pays for stuff. You do this, he does this. You scratch his back, he scratch your back. You're gonna feel like in a friendship, like a roommate situation, and that's perfect for friendship. Like me and Shanza, we split a task. Like she did this, I did this. She did this, I did this. Perfect. Okay. But when it comes to, but we don't like, we are friends. But when it comes to our romantic relationship, it's not gonna work. If you're the one who's like, I'm paying, I'm doing everything for myself and for you, maybe. No, he's gonna want that you do for him. But like when you say, I do everything by myself, there will be no attraction. A high value man will not naturally be attracted to you. Only feminine men will be like, "Oh, thank God, I don't have to do anything for her. I don't have to pay. I don't have to like do anything for her. Good. Ooh, easy, easy. Okay, now you also do for me." That's why men start asking me to pay for them and lend the money. Yeah, so 50-50 doesn't really exist. That's why you attract those feminine men who want money from you, who want you to pay for everything, who want you to drive up, to call, text, do the heavy lifting. And if you want a masculine man, you've got to learn to let that go. And I have an exercise for you. Imagine you're holding a ball. It's a tennis ball or whatever. And then you drop it. And you see and trust if the guy is going to catch it. Is he gonna pay? Is he gonna is he going to fix your car? Is he going to do this? So obviously in the beginning when you're dating, it can look like you go to a coffee place and you say, instead of going ordering yourself, you drop the ball by using your feeling statements. Oh, I would love to drink coffee today. It would make me feel so awake because I'm a bit tired. Oh, I would love to drink the green tea. I always love green tea. You drop the ball, you let him do things. So again, we're not necessarily even doing this for ourselves. We do it for the masculine guy because he needs to invest time, energy, and money to fall in love. And he needs to give to you. He needs to give you his time, energy, and money so that he falls in love, so that he feels attached and he wants to commit to you forever. So, and those guys who text, oh, you're a gold digger, or you take advantage of me, usually they are broke and they are in their feminine energy and they're like, I have an empty wallet and you still want money from me? You're a gold digger. Like no millionaire, no successful man, even a man who just earns over 100K would ever say that. Like, and especially millionaires who are in abundance. Do you think he's gonna be like, oh, you're a gold digger? No, I actually was dating millionaires, even billionaires. And I have in my business masterminds millionaires. Okay. So I'm like, as a businesswoman, also having a large connection of successful entrepreneurs and investors, successful people. And I asked them, so what do you think about what kind of woman do you want? And he's like, I want a woman who can receive from me, and I want a woman who values that. Because why do I do all of that? Do you think I do this for me? No, I'm successful because I want to be able to give to my woman because I'm her hero. Like men, I mean, there are some driven men, but usually their driven factor is their woman or their future woman. Ask any guy, any successful man, why you're successful? Because I want to provide for my family, because I want girls to like me. So I think Shazia wanted to share something.
I do. This is such a juicy topic and it's so close to my heart. I have so much to share, but there's a comment by Magda. She said they blocked me on Tinder because they call me a gold digger. And the thing is, like Ellie said, the men who are getting so triggered when a woman is open to receiving is they have their own wounded masculine. And that's why, like, you'll hear us say healthy masculine often when we're talking about these empowered men, because there's also a thing such as wounded masculine when they are not um okay, like they don't have that divine masculine urge to want to protect and provide, they get very, very triggered. And it's something that they have to deal with on their own and heal through. And that has nothing, it doesn't say anything about you. So I want to add that, ladies, if a man is saying that you're a gold digger, you're using him, most likely he doesn't have the gold that he thinks that you're digging for. Um, but the truth is, men who actually have the money, they have the resources, they want healthy masculine men, they want to do all those things for you. They enjoy, they take pride in providing and protecting for their woman, their families, the people that they care about, their friends. So if they're saying like, oh, you're a gold digger, you're here to use me, they don't have it. Majority, they're like telling on themselves. They're coming from that scarcity because they think they don't have it, and they think you're going to take the little bit that they might have. But I had a client who she was in her late 20s, and the guy that she was with, he was her boyfriend of 5 years, by the way, boyfriend of 5 years. The relationship was stagnant. It was very much 50-50, but the idea was 50-50, but it really wasn't 50-50 because she was the one that was cooking, she was cleaning, and she was the one that was paying rent and the bills. And his money, he would like waste his money. I remember she was telling me, she's like, I asked her, I said, he has a job. She said, yes. And I said, where does his money go? And she said that he would spend money on alcohol, he would spend money on video games, he would spend money on like he would eat out like DoorDash and Uber Eats. All his money was going to waste, and she was the one that was not just doing for herself but for him as well. And coming from that, again, she was hyper masculine, high achieving woman. So when it comes to that polarity, like Ellie was saying, like I scratch your back, you scratch my back, it's very much a friendship at that point. It's like you're roommates. If you're living together, you're like roommates. Because masculine men, they don't need your help. They don't need you to pay. I was very much, when I was dating, I remember I was the one when I would get to the register, I would like bring my wallet and I'd be like, oh, do you want me to split this? Do you want me to pay for myself? Like, because I didn't think that there are men out here who actually want to pay for me. I didn't know how to receive. I was blocking it. So just like Ellie was sharing the story of how she said no to the designer winter shoes for 2000. She was like, no, I don't want it. No, you're not going to buy this for me, because we think that I don't want him to think that I'm using him. I don't want him to think, except that the masculine man, he wants you to use him, if that makes sense. Like not use him, like that, but very much so of he wants you to be able to receive. He wants you to say yes when he's giving. So I think that's what I really wanted to add
Yes,
on
like
in
he likes to feel useful. I had a client lately saying that I helped someone and they appreciated me and I felt useful. You know, it's a good thing to feel appreciated and useful. And one more thing, I just saw the comment. So one lady said that, she is from Poland and I'm born in Poland, but I am an immigrant in Germany. So I came to Germany when I was 9 years old. So I also grew up in Germany, but I had a Polish family. And you see, it's also already happening in Poland, but I'm telling you, ladies, it's much worse in Germany. I'm like between Poland and Germany all the time. And I've lived also in the US, and a lot of my clients are from the US, from Western Europe. And yes, in Poland, that's my observation. There are still lots of men who have like the culture is still very traditional. There is still lots of religion, there's tradition of marrying, all of that, which this culture in the West, like in Germany, in US, there is no culture of that anymore, of marrying, providing, and being a family person. And yet, as I mentioned yesterday, um, as I mentioned yesterday, the culture is just a sticker. So, oh, I just see the comment. Yes, Muslim men, they are even more provider and caring. Yes, because their culture, even more than Polish culture, is even more religious, even more provider. So you see, it's natural with culture. But if you learn those steps that we give you, you're gonna be able to inspire men even from a culture like in Germany or in the US or Canada, where it's like feminism, everyone pays 50-50. Like Germany is like a 50-50 land. But even here, once I and actually that's a secret, ladies. Once I learned those skills, I felt like a unicorn. Suddenly, every single man wanted to marry me. I had like no competition at all because they're like, I've never seen a feminine woman who knows how to be magnetic and inspire me to be a man. I want to be your hero, So, again, there are enough men for everybody, but like, especially in those Western countries where every woman doesn't know how to do it, which because we are so independent, so high achieving, and our society conditions us to like just do. Men are like they would see a ghost, magnetized. No competition at all. Like I've never seen a feminine woman. I want to be with you. So you see, there is something good in everything. So really take notes, implement those things. And one more thing, even though the tip here is for you to open up to receive, I know that there are many stories you might ask yourself, like I did, like, oh, will he want something back from me? Will he, am I worthy to receive? Or can I receive it even though I didn't do anything? So all of these things, you have to be self-aware. And I myself couldn't overcome them without being coached by a professional who could remove those blockages. So if you see yourself that, okay, you know you should receive, but you still don't attract men who want to provide for you, who want to give you things, or you block yourself like I did. I was like, no, don't do anything for me. No, 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 no. Because there was just this blockage. One-on-one coaching, group coaching really helped me. So I highly encourage you joining our Magnetic Muse offer then if you see yourself having a blockage. Um,
I do want to add here about the culture being just a sticker. I think that's an important point here because I actually come from the Eastern world. I was born in Pakistan. I was raised in a very conservative Muslim Pakistani family, and I come from that culture where, um, and I'm going to give an example of my own family here, my own parents, where the woman did not work, right? The man worked, the man was a provider, but that has nothing to do with polarity or feminine energy. Because while my own mom, was not working, the only thing my dad did was go to work and come home. That's it. He would just bring the money. But when it came to budgeting, when it came to figuring out like how to run the house, how to invest for the future, and any planning that had to be done, any decision making, that was all my mom. So this is where I say like it's not so much about the culture, because coming from that side of the world where, you would expect like, oh, it's a Muslim man, and I have dated a man. I was very close to considering commitment with the Pakistani man, with a Muslim man. I've dated Arab men who are again Muslim. They come from that culture, right? Where, oh, he's going to provide, he's going to protect, he's the man of the house. And it was the same patterns because there was an energetic disconnect, ladies. So I do want to say that it doesn't matter where you live or what type of, like, what culture, what race of a man you're dating. It's more about making sure that you're tapping into your feminine energy as a whole when you're coming into the romantic world, so that you're attracting masculine men, because there are feminine men in every culture and there are masculine men in every culture
yeah.
as well. So I just really wanted to clarify that as well, that it's not just like a specific type of man that you're going to get the best masculinity out of. Because coming from that culture myself, I have definitely seen both masculine and feminine men in the Muslim community. I have seen, and then my own husband he's an American who um, converted to Islam. And that's a different story for a different day. But that's how, like, I was like, okay, like he converted to Islam. He became a Muslim. He wasn't born a Muslim. So, his religion, his culture, his race, his nationality, none of it matters. It's all about an energetic polarity and attraction is how you attract the right kind of men. It could be from anywhere in the world.
I love that. I love that, my dear, that you're bringing this up, that you actually married a modern man. And I can just guarantee you from also my own experience and from my clients' experiences, um, you know, things change. Like even in a Western country, suddenly men would just feel so motivated to do things for me, to commit, to provide. In a country where culture is to not commit, to not provide, and yet they did it because it's just like a sticker. And but culture will also not rescue you for sure. If you do the things wrong, even if you're in a culture that still is very old-fashioned, like literally the Polish culture or even the Muslim culture is
Yeah.
old-fashioned, it's still not gonna rescue you because men just respond to your energy.
That's absolutely true. The thing is, I want to share here also, my husband, again, being an American man, and he, by the way, ladies, he hates when I speak about this because he's embarrassed about it now. But before me and him were together, he was a 50-50 man with his ex when he was living with his ex, before me and him ever even got together to talking or anything. He was a 50-50 man. And this is to like even though he doesn't like that I speak about this, don't tell him I said that. But he it's all about the woman. We can, and we're going to talk more about this tomorrow and also more in detail, of course, in Magnetic Muse, if you do decide to sign up for our offer. It's where we basically, like, we're going to teach you how to do this, but my own story is such an example of this that um, I was able to evoke his masculinity because I was able to become magnetic the way that we're talking about today. When I tapped into my feminine energy, like the thing is, majority of men are already masculine. Like I said before, they want to be useful. They want you to ask them for help. They want you to ask how they can make your life easier and solve problems for you and fix things for you and buy things for you and all of these things. But when, again, regardless of culture, regardless of what his past even is, because there's always room for growth, like it was for my husband. Because when he had shared with me and I remained content in my own femininity, and I told him, like, this is something that I'm not okay with, like, I'm not going to be, I don't want to pay for things. It doesn't feel good to me. Again, speaking with how things feel to you, combining it all together. Like I set that boundary with my husband, and and it like it makes him feel, and this is why he's so embarrassed to when I talk about his past, that he's like, what was I thinking? I want to be the man that, the woman that I'm with can, you know, use basically for, her joy, her ease. So again, it has nothing to do with culture. It has nothing to do with religion, ladies. It's all about energy. I cannot stress that enough.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing, my dear. So, yes, so now we're gonna be quickly finishing that. Here, I'm gonna give you the tip that you can do. Now we went over time, but we just have so much value for you to share. So I want you, when you're in your abundant mind, to tap into abundance. Like imagine, you can literally close your eyes and imagine like the ocean. There's abundance of water. Tap into abundance, right? And once you tap into that and you tie it with you doing, you're gonna earn lots of money. But I want you to tap into abundance and imagine that you don't need to take a basket to get the water. Your man takes a basket. Oh, you can see that. Your man takes a basket and gets the water for you. Okay, if you want water from the ocean. And I want you to just like imagine you sit on the beach, maybe on a nice chair or whatever. You don't lift a finger, but there is abundance of water. Yes, you could do it yourself in your masculine energy, but you can also inspire him to do it, which is again very important for him to commit to you and fall in love with you. So you just sit back, you relax, and you trust that, you might be sharing, oh, I would feel so good if you get me the water from the ocean or a river, whatever. But there's like limitless amount of water. You tap into the abundance, and then you imagine he brings you that water, or even like water from the tap if you want to, or water from the supermarket. I think most people in in an well here live watching, they have an abundance of water to drink, so you just relax, and then he brings you that water, you appreciate that, and there's no need for giving back, no guilt, no need of giving back, not like, should I bring you water now too because you feel like he will not like you? No, that's polarity. In a friendship, yes, offer back, okay, thank you friend, can I bring you something too? But in a polarity, in a relationship, don't offer back. Unless he asks you directly because, I don't know, he's sick or he really needs your help, then you obviously, get to help him because you're still partners in life. But if you want to tap into abundance, into attracting men who are top 1% successful men, who are resourceful, who have lots of time, energy, and money. And one of the dating skills is having an abundant mindset, but a feminine abundant mindset, the one that you feel abundant and you don't have to work yourself to get to the water. You let him do it. Okay, let me check out the comments. It's about energy. Yes, exactly. It's about energy. Good lady. So these have been the tips, and I hope that you can really take notes and implement them. And I really want you to have success. So we gave you as much as we can here. And now we'd like to present you our offer. So you can stay if you want to. If you feel completed, you can leave now. And at the end, we're going to have a little Q&A as well. So you can also ask your questions. You can already put your questions in the comments so I can look at them. So Magnetic Muse, it's a group coaching offer where you get to join 2 group coaching calls with me and Shanza, and you get to ask questions that are personalized to you. You get to ask anything that you go through. And also there are in between 2 Telegram days where you hop on. Telegram is like a WhatsApp, Facebook messaging, something similar, where you hop on the messaging app and you send us voice message. You say, hey, what do I tell this guy that I'm dating? Or you ask us, hey, how do I tell my husband I want this and this from him? You know, I want him to buy me a car. So why is this so valuable? Because even though we gave you all of the tips we can, you are a special person. You have your own unique story, and you might need something unique to help you break through. Okay, I was already yesterday talking about my story of my beautiful client Queen though. She, for example, she had the knowledge, she bought my courses too, and she was already having success. From just my courses, she was already having success. She started attracting better men. But then she signed up for coaching, and then she told me her personal struggles, like, and that was that from her childhood, she was used to her parents controlling her and her parents criticizing her, and she felt like very triggered that every guy would be also controlling and criticizing her. By the way, I have her permission to share her story. She also gave me a live testimonial, a video you can watch on my YouTube channel. But she had like this blockage, limiting belief. And while it sounds easy right now, when I tell you, she was not even self-aware that that's her blockage. She was just like, I don't know, but I just can't open up to successful men, to masculine men, because she didn't even know why, what's going on. Okay, we figured out, I tapped into her subconscious, and we figured out that she actually was scared to be controlled. She was scared to be overpowered, to be told what to do because her parents did that. We worked on that. Internally, we moved that within 1 session. I taught her how to communicate with every man that she's dating. Where's the boundary? We're going to talk about boundaries tomorrow as well, right? And guess what? She was able to communicate that because, you know, provider men, masculine men, they sometimes could trigger that controlling part because they want things for, oh, you shouldn't do this because, you know, you will get hurt, or don't go out at dark because you might get hurt, or don't spend your money on this because maybe it's you know, maybe you can find a cheaper flight, let me search for you. And then, you know, it triggered her controlling thing, although she was already attracting provider men, controlling fear. We worked through that, you know. So I can give you a million stories because I myself had some, but I think you get the point. The value of this group coaching container is that you get to remove the blockages that are blocking you, that keep you stuck in a cycle, that keep you stuck here in the same reality. You keep attracting feminine men, you keep attracting broke men, or maybe you already, because of that resources we give you, start having a better dating life, you start attracting better men, but something, you don't know exactly what that is holding you back from having the results. Maybe it's the embodiment which is missing, but this is something that we can only figure out once you are coaching with us directly, because every single woman has a different story. Every single woman has a different blockage, you could say, and a reason why keeps repeating. So the reason why me and Shanza, yeah, 1 second. The reason why me and Shanza, so young, have our dream love life is not because we are special. We told you our story in day 1, go back. It's because we had the right support to quantum jump time. My grandmother, my mother, even though they're much older than me, don't have their dream love life because they're still stuck in their old patterns at age 85, 60 years old. and we in our 20s reach the point where we're like, wow, we're treated with high effort, we are magnetic. I was attracting millionaire after millionaire wanting to be with me, doing things for me, buying things for me, proposing to me. Where I was like at the point, okay, I'm overwhelmed. Who do I choose? That's a nice problem to have, right? So your time is valuable. And also as a woman, if you want to have kids, it's really important you choose a man that is the perfect man for you, because you have a whole life in front of you. And I know from my own experience, being with a man that isn't treating you well, doesn't commit to you, it's just draining you so much of your self-esteem, life force energy. And for what? You can get into our coaching containers, get results really fast, and have a nice life forever. My clients, just like Tu or Diana, she just got married. Like, that's one of my clients. She also in her 20s, so she signed up in her 20s, right? But for, the story I talked about yesterday, right now, I think she is 29, or maybe she just reached 30. She has her whole life with her dream man. She has her whole life with a man that respects her, that loves her. You can watch a testimonial on YouTube with a man that comes home and always asks her, do you need anything from the store? Can I do something at home? Maybe hires some housekeepers for her so she doesn't have to worry, provides for her, respects her, where she came from a place where she was just crying and anxious all the time because men treated her bad, didn't want to even be boyfriend, girlfriend with her. And now within, I think she was 1 year with me. Yeah, within 1 year, but we had a lot of things to do. Like Queen, for example, after 3 months, she was already engaged. But with Diana, we had a little bit more work to do. So after 1 year, she attracted this dream guy and is married now. Perfect. Why would you want to waste your time trying to do things by yourself, crawling where you can take an airplane and be at your result within in the next year, in the next 2 years? You know what I mean? So we are here to help you, so make sure to reach out. Actually, I can drop the link in the comments as well for Magnetic Muse. It's a very affordable offer where you can kind of like see how it is to work with us. You get 2 coaching calls and 2 Telegram days. And the coaching calls are on the weekend. The Telegram days, we don't know yet. And you get your own, strategy, embodiment. We are going to work on the pattern, on the subconscious things that are maybe holding you back from your childhood, just like Dora was held back from her childhood because she felt like, oh no, men will control me like my parents did. Okay, so I also know about somatic healing, how to really tap into your subconscious and shift that really quickly. Okay, Shanza, the mic is for you. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat, and also if someone's watching the replay, you can send me an email for the link, or you can, when you watch on YouTube, you can look into the description box. You put the link in the description box. Okay.
So I just wanted to add here that that is very true, Ellie, that when I was single, I was very much like, because I'm like, I can figure everything out on my own. I don't need anyone to teach me. Because I figured life out on my own, right? I figured how to make money on my own, how to be independent, how to live alone, how to, pay bills, how to like get a car. I figured those things out on my own. So when it came to my dating life, I was like, this is no different. I'm just going to figure it out. And when I realized that, okay, like I might be doing something wrong, and I learned about like, okay, like there are books out there, there are people that actually teach you, there are coaches. And what I did was, I was like, you know what? I don't want to invest money into working with a coach. I'm just going to buy their like small product. I'm going to buy a book that they wrote. I'm going to learn from their resources. And while I learned a lot, like Ellie said, you can have all the knowledge, but there will be things that are internal, that you don't even realize that are blocking love for you. So like limiting fears, insecurities, limiting beliefs, things that you like, the way that you're attracting the wrong men because of law of attraction, because of the way that you think about men and think about things. That's where coaching comes into play. I wish that I would have worked with my coach way before than I actually did, because I went into looking for self-help, right? I tried to teach myself, I tried to figure it out on my own. And it was like, while I was learning so much, I was still stuck in my patterns on a subconscious level. I was making mistakes that I didn't even realize that these were repeating mistakes. It wasn't until I worked with a coach that my coach was able to pinpoint and hold me accountable. And she was able to highlight for me, like spotlight for me and say, hey, like, these are the mistakes that you're making. These are the, this is what's causing you to be stuck in this pattern. So working with a coach who has knowledge, like Ellie and I, for example, in Magnetic Muse, is like a shortcut to getting your results, and getting your results like now, versus trying to figure it out on your own and trying to learn on your own. Because while yes, you can do it on your own, you're a high achieving woman, you're very capable of doing it on your own, but you're prolonging the process because you don't realize when you are getting in your own way. So if it, like, this is very important that I wanted to touch point on, that it's like, when you work one-on-one, you have that personalized coaching support. You have that personalized guidance that you cannot get from like watching a video or from reading a book that is typically written or created for the general public, rather than personalized and customized to your unique situation. So I do want to add that as well. So if you're a woman who wants that customized, guidance and coaching in your romantic life to like not jumpstart, but to speed up attracting your Mr. Right, then Magnetic Muse is a really, really powerful offer that Ellie and I have created together that I highly encourage you to look into. And I believe, Ellie, you have dropped it in the comments, correct? Yes, I do see it.
Yes.
Should we work on insecurities and mental health before we try to date? Oh, I love this question, Adriana. Thank you for your question. This is such, Ellie, do you want to answer this, or do you want me
Yes,
to go
for
ahead?
sure. So, yes and no. Okay, so let me answer this quickly. Yes and no. So some of my clients, they do have so much trauma and insecurity that they additionally, for example, need some therapy because they're just dysfunctional in life. That happens too, but most of my clients are not there. So if you are that dysfunctional in life, that if you are really having so, PTSD, you can't sleep, you have like extreme nightmares, you're completely dysfunctional, coaching probably is not the right place for you. You have to start with therapy or both at the same time. Okay, so but if you just have some insecurities, what did you say? Insecurities and mental health, then definitely coaching can already help you so much. Yeah, as I mentioned, I am teaching together with Shanza emotional mastery. What is emotional mastery? I was sharing with you that I myself, when I started doing this inner work, I had so much fear and doubt and negativity, and all of that I had to remove that. Okay, so through somatic healing meditations, through being trauma informed, we're going to coach you through the process of removing that baggage, removing those fear, rewiring your nervous system, rewiring your nervous system into being grounded, into being calm. And the truth is, yes, if you are having lots of insecurities, you are having lots of mental health issues, you should not be dating. Don't be dating without supervision, because it can cause even more insecurities. You might be attracting men who might take advantage of that, or you might attract a man who might want to rescue you, but that's a codependent relationship, and it's not going to be, it's not going to be very happy either. And as a woman, if you are in a relationship, you get attached, right? You start loving a person just because you spend time with him, or just because um do you have intimacy with him? And then it comes out that he took advantage of your insecurity, or he started being your hero and you now feel dependent on him. So it's really important that you are having that one-on-one support or group coaching support. We still call one-on-one there, so that we can together decide, okay, is this the right time to be dating? Sometimes, and a lot of my clients, including me, there are still something left, some fears, some insecurities, but like a little bit going into dating is already okay. Just a few dates, just talking a little bit with our guy, and then my clients bring up the issues back to the call. So let me give you an example. With the example of Diana, she was dating and she kept asking me, okay, is this guy a healthy man? And I was like, I could like tell her, but not only through telling her, but through tapping into her feeling, into her body. Does this feel like a healthy behavior to you? Do you accept a man who talks to you like that? No, no, no. Good. Then reject him. But maybe if she had the insecurity and she didn't have the guidance, she did that for years, she would be like, okay, whatever, I'm used to this. He's rude, but whatever, you know? And that is why dating generally is such a vulnerable topic. And as successful women, we invested in our career, right? You invest in your career, you go to university, you pay for it. In some countries, university doesn't cost much, like in Germany, but you still invest time, money. Even like, you go to university, you have maybe debt even for that. But I don't suggest you to do this with this coaching container. Definitely don't go into debt. But like I'm just saying, you invest your time, you invest your money to get results. And dating isn't different. You invest money in your clothes to look good. You invest money maybe for a hairdresser, right? To have a nice cut. And dating isn't different. We are expected to know everything. The society tells us, like the beauty industry tells us, oh, you just need to look beautiful and you will get everything. Why didn't it happen for me and Shanza? We are literally happened in our early 20s, looking beautiful, and still we had the worst experience, the worst guys who always like didn't respect us, took advantage of us. And I just felt like so unworthy, so mistreated. And I just didn't know what to do. So that is why, even though, society says, oh, we should just know how to do it, and then it's enough for it to look beautiful. They just tell you that so that, you keep buying those creams or whatever. But, you can look beautiful. Go buy creams and a beautiful dress for yourself. And it is important for you to feel good. But the transformation comes from direct support. And we're going to get into the Q&A in a second. But yes, if you have mental problems, it depends on what degree. I would have to talk to you directly if we decided you additionally have to talk to a therapist because it's just too much, or if just like in my case, I actually put myself to therapy. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I think therapists are amazing. Some of my clients work together with therapists and me, but I put myself into therapy actually when I was 17 because I was or 16 even, because I was like wanting more from life. And I went to a therapist and they just couldn't figure out what's wrong with me. They're like, you don't have any mental disease. People treat you bad, but I don't know how to help you. Yeah, so coaches really helped me to transform, to have different life patterns. Do you want to share anything else, Shanza, before we go to the Q&A?
Yeah, well, this is kind of going into Q&A with Adriana's question here about insecurities and mental health, if we should work on that before we try to date. And I do want to add that, yes, Ellie is absolutely correct, where you do want to, work with a therapist if you have like deep mental health issues, if you really struggle, with mental health issues or insecurities. Absolutely. I've had clients, like Ellie said, like we will be in my coaching container, but then also have working with the therapist as well, which I personally believe is the strongest combination. Whether you have a therapist or not does depend on what degree you're struggling. But I will say that we are always a work in progress. We are always growing. And we are consistently, wanting change and betterment for ourselves. And the truth is, actually, I highly, highly believe that dating, if you are still working with a therapist, dating is obviously a you don't want to go into dating if you're really struggling with mental health issues, like Ali said. However, if you feel that your insecurities and mental health are not like very deep, then I do encourage you to date, actually, because the more that you go into relationships, the more that you're able to see your insecurities, the more that you're able to see your limitations and what's been holding you back. And again, that is something that if you were to bring into Magnetic
Yes.
with us, we
But, but
will.
it's but it's important to have the feedback, because when you have insecurities in a dating situation, if you have a coach who helps you through that, that is going to be transformational. But just going to dating without any feedback, without any support,
Oh
it
yeah.
just keeps you stuck in a cycle.
Absolutely. So when you are dating under like the supervision of a coach who's curated a plan that is personalized for you, for the exact insecurities that you have, for the exact limiting blocks that you have that hold you back. Like some women think like they think that they need to work I've had clients that stayed single for years because they felt like they weren't healed enough. And that is a really, really big block that holds you back because you're holding something off that you can simultaneously work on your insecurity. I see here that you're talking about your.
Yes, yes. I'm going to address that in a second once you finish.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So I actually removed that testimonial. I had it on my slide, but I removed it. I had one lady, she she was overweight, like a lot. And she was like, I can't date because I'm overweight. I can't date. And then also because I'm older now. She was not that old. She was like 45 years old. And then we worked on the mindset. We worked on the mindset of feeling worthy. And she literally 2 months later, oh, I wish I had this I literally had it, but then I was like, I don't want to overwhelm you guys. Literally 2 months later, she was engaged to a millionaire. But I cannot promise you, if you are overweight, that you will not attract a man who's overweight, because we attract who we are. That's why I was saying that if you are right now having lots of anxiety, insecurities, we have to work on that internal baggage. We have to let go of that baggage so that you attract healthy men as well. And many of my clients didn't go into dating up until like half a year working with me. Yeah. Um, a lot of my clients, most of my clients actually, at least half year or even 3 months, we are just doing the inner work of releasing the insecurities, releasing the doubts, releasing the patterns, and then they go into dating and have results. Because I can immediately tell you, if you go into dating now, what kind of results you're going to have, because your energy, your mindset, your strategy are bringing you the results. So sometimes it really depends. I'm going to have to talk to you directly. It really depends on your situation. Should you be dating or not? And you just said, I ask you, is it important for you that your man isn't overweight? Yes. If this is really, really important for you, then, I cannot guarantee that if you're overweight yourself, that you won't attract it. But I have a question here. What if you are overweight, but you attract someone who is overweight and you together lose weight? Wouldn't that be amazing too? Huh? You together like hit the gym, prepare nice healthy meals, and a lot of the times, I'm telling you, my clients' mental health issues literally disappear. They work with therapists and me together, and they disappear once they are in a healthy relationship. Once they are loved, they have someone to hold accountable. And as I mentioned, a lot of times you also overeat, and I did too, because we don't have like this love in our life, or because we're so disconnected from our emotions or stuff something down. So working on yourself is always a good idea. And you can always lose the weight later, also together with your partner, like a healthy couple, they grow together. So I mean, it's up to you, but if it was me, if I was overweight, I wouldn't restrict myself to not attract a man who's overweight, because I'll be like, okay, let's be overweight together, and then together we're gonna hit the gym. Together we're gonna we're gonna cook together and eat healthy and hold each other accountable. and, you know, have like couple goals and stuff like that. So this is what I would do, but obviously it's your choice. Okay, there's a question from Magdalena. Can I ask Shanza which coach you mentioned about reading books? Reading books? What do you mean reading books?
I had mentioned earlier how when I was struggling with my romantic life, I was a big Google kid. I used to ask my
Yeah,
questions to Google, and that's where I had landed and found a bunch of dating coaches,
me
and
too, me
that
too.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, me too.
and
I was also like 2 years before I started being coached. And I work with like amazing coaches too. But like before I started being coach, I just like was reading books, reading like when you join our Magnetic Muse, we're also going to give you books recommendations from other coaches if you want, because there are a lot of amazing books which gives you knowledge, but the transformation happens in the one-on-one coaching, in the group coaching, because you need tailored advice. And for me, it was the same thing. 2 years reading so much, nothing happened. I signed up for coaching, and within 6 months, my whole life changed. All right, so let's go quickly to more questions. And if you have any other questions, you can drop them down below as well. So I've tried so many things before. How do I know this will work? Who resonates with that? So as I mentioned from our story, I've tried before I was being coached. So, and actually, I've tried before I was being coached so many books and things, and I was duct taping information, and it didn't help me. And actually, before I was with my coach for 6 months, I tried 3 or 4 more coaches, different ones, but I felt like they don't really resonate with me. And that's okay. Sometimes we don't resonate with people, right? That's why our offer is just 2 coaching calls and 2 telegrams, so you can really get a taste of our work. And by the way, I didn't say the price. The value is $1,000, but until next Wednesday, you get it for $500. It's 2 checkouts though, so just remember that 2 checkouts in total $500, so 2 times $250. And you get until Wednesday those 2 bonus courses of Magnetic Woman and get ready for a date with a millionaire to help you from the masculine to feminine energy. But how do you know that this will work? So, as I mentioned, I myself tried multiple coaches before I found the coach that resonated with me. And that's why I highly encourage you to do this package, which is a really small package, to see if you resonate with us and with the coaching style, and if you already have results. And in the end of the day, you know, later, I was a bit more brave later. I spent 10,000, 20, even $30,000 on coaching packages. And I left in the middle. I left within the first month. Like I spent it was mostly on business though. I had some business coaching packages and I was like, it's not for me. This is not my values. It's not how I'm gonna run my business. And do I regret it? No, because I'm in abundant mindset. Money is going to come back. My time is not going to come back. So I had to find my business coach who would help me run exactly the business that I want to run, because my time is not going to come back. But my money, yes, I'm an abundant mindset. I'm going to make it happen. I attracted a man who is a millionaire who provides for me. Of course, my money is going to come back, but my time isn't. So I needed the right coaches. And do I regret that? No, it gave me clarity what coach not work with. And some coaches actually don't offer small packages. So I had to sign up for 10 or 20, 30K bigger packages. And I did it and I own it. And it wasn't a good match. But that's why we came up with a small package, because usually I also don't offer small packages. I don't. At least 6 months, big containers. But we thought, okay, let's just do it, so that, you know, if anyone just wants to have a taste, wants to see how they feel, they can come. So what I want you to know, I want you to take ownership of your life and be like, you know what? I'm gonna make it work somehow, and I'm gonna keep trying no matter what it takes. And I'm willing to invest in myself, my time, energy, and money. And I trust God, He will bring me the right coach. Whoever that is, you know, I'm not even talking about us. Whoever the right coach is for you, I trust God, the right coach, the right support is going to come. So the next question, I don't know if I should spend this money on myself right now, on coaching. Okay, so obviously, if you don't have money, that's another story. Then you really have to start earning money. You have to start getting a job. You have to start scaling your business. That's another story. To start getting into abundant mindset, which I talk a lot. Like Diana, for example, you can watch in her testimonial. She started earning 3 times more and working 3 times less because of the abundant mindset, and her readiness got approved. So, she spent money, but she received it back 10 times. Watch her testimonial. I have so many other testimonial women saying that working with me, because especially if you want abundance, millionaire man, millions for yourself, you have to work on your abundant mindset as well. So money is gonna come back for sure, but even let's assume worst case it doesn't. Okay, should you spend this $500 on yourself? If you don't have money, earn it obviously. But if you have money, what else would you spend it on? I see women going to stuff going to makeup store, spending $500 on some perfume and a few makeup stuff. Yes, it's amazing, but you can also get a cheaper perfume and a cheaper makeup. It won't make such a big difference. Or buying like a designer bag. And as much as I love designer bags too, it's a luxury product, but it won't make such a big difference in your life. So what is it that you want the most? If designer bags is what you want the most right now, fine. But be intentional with your money, because people always spend on bags, shoes, small amounts, $50 here, $50 for coffee, $50 for lunch, $50 on this. Or you go on vacation and the money is gone. So if you see the last 3 months and you didn't spend on small things where you felt like it might buy you the happiness, which I used to do too, but you actually work on the root cause where you learn how to be happy. You learn with our coaching how to release that baggage from your past, how to be grounded, how to be in emotional happiness so that you can connect to your feelings and be just happy. That money is so, like, it was worth for me 100%. I'm just so grateful I prioritize that. But it's actually a decision you have to do for yourself. Chance, you want to say something?
Yeah, I do want to add here that, like you said, like we spend money on so many things, and those things are gone. Those things, like, it's not that and we're not here saying that, oh, like, don't buy the bag that you want, don't go on the vacation. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that, like, yes, you can do all of that, but investing in yourself is, especially when you know that you're working with coaches who have not only change their own love lives, but also for their clients as well. So this is something that has been tried and true, and it's such a low offer that it's like a no-brainer. $500 for literally changing your love life forever. And it's not just about oh, like, you get 2 calls. Like, what is the point of the 2 calls? The point of the 2 calls is that you get to hop on a call with both Ellie and I, and you get to ask your questions. You get to ask, like, describe what your situation is. You get personalized, customized, step-by-step action plan out of this support with us. So you get to work directly with us with whatever your current situation is, what your insecurities are, what your limiting blocks are, what's been kind of the reason that you feel like you are holding yourself back. And in just a couple of you beautiful ladies shared with us, like, some of you are struggling to find good men because you don't go anywhere, or you don't know where to go to find these men. So, or if you're struggling with your weight, if you have insecurities, like, this is the place for you to come to get that personalized support, so that you can get a step-by-step action plan. You can get that coaching, that guidance to remove the subconscious block, to remove the thing that you don't even realizing is causing you to hold yourself back and prolong attracting your soulmate, attracting the man that God has for you. So this is like, you can spend your money on, like, you can spend $500, right? You can spend it on just a plane ticket, and then what? It's gone. The money is gone. So why not invest the money in something that's actually going to give you the results that you want when it comes to your romantic life, and it's going to change your life?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of times it sounds a lot at once, but when we really look where we spend like little amount and be intentional with that, a lot of people, even with the same budget with the job that you have, you can for sure afford that as well. Okay, now what if I don't have time to commit? What if I don't have time to work on my goals. So me and Shamsa are coaches since years. So we can spot the blockage like a scanner within minutes, okay? We become really fast in coaching you. And you don't need much time. Like my client, Queen, though, she's a doctor. She has a full schedule. She's a professional. She has no time, literally no time. And that's why we also put the calls on the weekend, usually Saturday or Sundays. I think we're choosing Sunday or Saturday. Let's see, we will decide. Um, so that you have the time to join live. The Telegram will be within the day, and you don't need much time. That's the thing here. Because those blockages are subconscious, there is not time, not much time needed. We just have to do a shift. So just like I gave you this example with Queen, her name is Queen though. She had this blockage where she was like, I just can't open up to a man. Why? Because she was scared of being criticized. I could spot it immediately. We shifted that. She got how to communicate to men to not criticize her, to not control her. And boom, she was able to accept the proposals. You know, things can move really, really, really fast. So you for sure need no time. And anytime you want to add something, Shanza, let me know. Otherwise, I will get to the next question.
Yeah, I do want to add, when it comes to this shift, Ellie, as Ellie is describing here, like that shift does not require hours and hours or days and days of coaching. That shift can happen in a split second. And it's all based on, and again, when you're working with coaches like Ellie and I, who have been doing this for years now, um, this is something that we're not here to waste your time. We're here to quickly identify your blocks and then quickly give you the fastest and most efficient solution to that problem that you're having. So it's not something that's going to like waste your time. It's something that's actually going to save you time in the long run, because again, like you can read all the books you want, you can like read all the articles, watch all the videos and try to DIY it, and then you're actually prolonging it and wasting time that way. So if you really want to save your time, like I said before, like this is actually the shortcut, because you can just ask your question and then Ellie and I can go, oh, it's not even the question. There's a deeper issue that's going on, and we can pinpoint it and help you remove it once and for all. So you're actually saving time in the long run. And yeah, like that's something I really wanted to add here.
Perfect. So why do you think Doe got her proposal within 3 months, my client Doe? Because she didn't need to go to 10,000 books. She didn't need to go to 10,000 programs. I found within 5 minutes, okay, that's your block, that's your fear. A man will control you. Let's work through that. Let's remove that pattern from the childhood. Let's work on how to communicate with a man so that he doesn't. You see, boom, she is engaged. She's planning her wedding. She got the results. You don't need to get a PhD on coaching. We've done that. We've spent 10
Exactly.
years on knowing how to coach, knowing the mental block, just knowing all the edges. So you don't have to do that. You can stay in your career and just enjoy the results.
Like let us do the hard work because we've done it, like because like it's like you can spend the time to read the books and read all these things and try to do it on your own, but we have already done it. So we have not just our personal experience, but we also have the experience of helping other women. So when you come to us, you're not paying for our time, you're paying for the wisdom that we have from over the years, for our experiences that we went through, for the knowledge that we have obtained. So it's like it's like we're like the chat GPT of
No, no,
romantic.
no, you can't compare this with ChatGPT. I've got to stop you here because ChatGPT taps to the average knowledge. It goes to Reddit and see what are people writing in Reddit. ChatGPT will not give you the answer that you need. You know, you might be asking something, but the average knowledge is like, why am I insecure? And then he might go to like Reddit or Google and see like the public blogs. That's not gonna give you
No, no,
results.
of course. Like the human version, of course, like the experiences that we went through, that is something that no chat GPT, no internet can actually identify the lessons that we have learned. So it's not what I was trying to say, was that you're not going to waste your time because you're literally like, when you input a question within us, we can give you like the step-by-step action plan for your
Yeah.
situation.
I think what you meant is like you no longer need to do the research yourself. You know, you could Google yourself and spend, I don't know, 20 minutes Googling something. But now ChatGPT can spill out the Google, whatever Google has in store for you really fast. Yes, yes, yes. It's just that we have much more than what Google has. We can immediately see what is going on with you, and that Google or ChatGPT can't do that. So, one next point, what is it if it doesn't work for me? Okay, it does work for you when you show up. It is proven across women all over the world. Go to my YouTube channel, check out the testimonial playlists. Women all over the world, only 1% of women give me testimonials, actually, especially video, because this is a very intimate topic. Okay, but I have a few. Go to testimonials. It is a proven method. Since over 5 years, I'm a full-time coach. So it's proven, it's working. You have to show up and you have to stay on track. And that's usually the reason why I don't even give small offers like 1 month, because people don't stay on track. That's why at least minimum 6 months. But we are making an exception so you can get to know us. And then later you can decide if you want to, have the personal guidance every step. And it's going to work because you have the personal guidance. You don't have the personal guidance from, and the special thing is that we're not only going to give you the knowledge, which most coaches do. We work on embodiment, and we can also identify anything that is like from the childhood, from any fears that are holding you back, pattern from childhood, anything that's also trauma related. So we've got you fully covered. Okay, next question. Can't I just figure this out on my own? Okay, I think we already answered that kind of, where I tried to figure things out on my own. I was at 2 years, nothing changed. Shanza already talked about it too, right? Where she was trying to figure things out on her own and nothing changed. Like, yes, you can try to figure things out on your own, duct taping stuff. You might be learning a little bit, moving forward a little bit. But if you want a true fast transformation, I highly encourage you to reach out and to sign up for Magnetic Muse, because why would you do it? Am I trying to build a house on my own? Why would I do it? I'm gonna pay. I don't know how much the house costs in your area, but here it costs like a couple million or a couple 100,000. Or I can just like pay the rent. I don't have to buy it, but I'm gonna build it by myself. Why would I build it by myself? Like, no. Let's make the expert do it, right? Or for example, I could do my taxes on myself. Yep, I could, but like, why? I'm just gonna delegate it, because my time is the most important thing. And when you step into abundance, which is also something I always teach, um, money is coming, but your time isn't. And your life, you're worthy to have good treatment, to attract a good man, to be treated well, to attract commitment and high effort treatment, to feel like a queen. You're worthy of that. Why would you spend one more day feeling miserable with the guys that you are meeting or in the relationship that you are? You get to inspire men and even your man to treat you well, to commit, to provide for you. So let's just work on it. Okay. Next question. I've invested in education and career. Why should I invest in dating? I think we also answered that, because love is the most valuable investment. You know yourself how much all life areas suffer if you are lonely, or if you are. There was a study that compared loneliness with smoking 20 cigarettes a day. If you're lonely, you don't have love in your life. Or because men don't commit and you feel rejected, you're crying on the bathroom floor. It really impacts happiness, health, and wealth. There are also studies that married couples have 11 times more wealth than single people, because you are happy, you're fulfilled. And I'm not saying every marriage is happy. Obviously, we're gonna work. If you're married and you're not happy and you want more passion, you want more happiness, we're going to work on that as well. Do you want to add anything, Shanza, on that? Why should I invest in dating? I already invested in my education and my career.
The only thing I would say is, you know how you wanted the career you wanted? right? And for that career, you had to have a certain degree. So you invested your time, you invested your money, you worked really hard for it because it's something that you really, really wanted. And it's not something that you could do on your own. Dating is something that we think we can do on our own. And a lot of people, I mean, and I want you to kind of look around yourself, everyone that is just DIYing their romantic lives, how much success do they really have? Are they, and a lot of the times we think that, oh, like, oh, so and so is married, my cousin is married, my coworker is married, but are they actually happily married? Are there, are their needs met in the relationship? Are they with the partner that they feel proud of? Are they in the relationship that they actually feel happy about? So it's not just about, like, why should I invest in dating?
Yeah,
It's because it's not just dating, it's not just relationship, it's that you're working to better yourself energetically and then also to attract an energetic match as a soulmate so that
yeah,
you're so fulfilled. So if
exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love that you bring this up. Yes, it's not about the stat, it's not about the ring, it's not about the marriage. Literally, the guy that I was dating that was homeless and had no job, he proposed to me. He bought me a plastic ring, like a plastic ring for like maybe $5. So I could have been married to him. That would be such a nice liability. Um, for my life.
Actually,
I would have adopted a kid, right?
I had one of my clients share this with me. She had a man that was like just freeloading off of her. He just like sat on the couch. He didn't even get on the knee, by the way. No ring. There was no ring. He just sat on the couch and he was like, "Do you want to get married? We could get married if you want to." Like no proposal, no ring, no proposal. She's paying all the bills. Like it's not, you can like go and ask a homeless man at the gas station, like, "Hey, do you want to get married today?" Like that is not the goal, ladies. Absolutely not the goal. So as someone, and Ellie, I'm sure you can relate with this, as someone who actually did invest in my like career, but hesitated to invest in my romantic life and saw how it prolonged and like really slowed down the process of becoming the woman that I feel happy to be today, and then attracting a man that the type of man I always like thought I wanted, but I never thought, like, I never knew how. I never knew how, like, if that even is possible for me. Investing in my romantic life actually is the very thing that sped it up for me. And I was able to get married in my 20s, actually have the relationship that I want, the type of like harmonious marriage that I want, where all my needs are taken care of. I like, and I shared my story on the first day. You can go back and see, like, my husband is the financial provider. He's emotionally like there for me. He creates that safe space where I can just be myself without wondering, like, oh my God, what is he going to think of me if he sees me cry over a stupid show or something? Or, if I'm having trouble like with a family member and I don't know how to handle it, he's there holding space for me, holding, like giving advice if I need to, if I need his help, like anything around the house that needs fixed, he's got it. If I just have a desire to go on the beach, all I have to do is tell him, like, I can tell him right now, like, hey babe, really want to go to the beach. That's what I want. And he's going to plan the whole thing. Tickets paid, Airbnb or hotel, whatever, done. All he does is tell me, okay, are you free? Do you have any client calls? Are you free this weekend? Or are you free from this date to this date? We can take a couple weeks. We can go here. Done, taken care of. So, ladies, we all like, if you genuinely really want your romantic life, like this is a like, you've got everything else, you've got your education, you've got your career, you've got everything in your life, like you got the house, the car, you might even have your visa stamps on your passport, right? You've traveled, you're ready for love. Like now love is the next step, then now is the time to invest in love.
Yes. And I want to add here something because I sign up for a dating coach. I don't know if anyone resonates with me, but maybe some women do. I sign up for a dating coach and I claimed I didn't want to get married, by the way, because I was like, I don't want to get married. I just don't, I just want my love life to be happy. And actually, there are quite a few clients of mine who work with me and they're like, I don't want to get married. I just want to be treated well, have a good time dating. and be eventually in a relationship. But I just want to, feel desired. I just want to stop this bad behavior, and I just want to be treated well. And I don't even know if I want to get married. And it was me too. I signed up for years ago, and I was like in my early 20s, I was like, I don't want to get married. That's not my goal right now. I just want to have a happy dating life, honestly. I just want to be um, I just want to feel chosen, respected, and this is what changed for me. And later I shared with you ladies, I started attracting ring after ring from Millionaire. And I was like, wow, like this process literally works. This embodiment, cool. I feel really desired. And I still decided that I didn't want to marry yet. It doesn't matter your age, but I just decided I didn't want to do that yet. I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to be by myself. I wanted to focus on my business also because I moved out from my family pretty late. I just wanted to live by myself, do things by myself. And honestly, we are here to support what you want, right? Like it doesn't matter what you exactly want. We are here to support. And your desires might change. Like I had a couple clients who are also like, I don't want to get married. I just want to be happy. And then they literally started being happy with a few guys, chose one guy to be in a relationship, and then okay, now we can get married because I'm literally really happy. So um yeah, so the goal honestly is that you are happy, and whatever form that takes, that is really up to you. But we're talking a lot about marriage, engagement, commitment, because most women actually do want that, right? And um do crave that. So even though I felt like I don't want to get married, I wanted to attract men who wanted to marry me, who wanted to commit, because it just felt like, yeah, why not? Why not attracting those amazing men? Okay, so, next question. Is there a proven return on investment? The skills that you're learning are for a lifetime when you work with us. Lifetime. The skills that I learned in my dating and relationship journey, they are for lifetime, and not only for dating, but for all my life areas. My relationship with my family improved. Because I learned about emotional mastery, I could run my business much better. Yeah. And this is not a waste of time. This is literally skills that hold you for life. And relationship skills are so important. Like even in a career, when you're trying to look for a job, when you know how to build a relationship with someone, when you know how to have emotional mastery with your boss so that you don't get triggered or you don't act out, it really benefits you. And you can also check out those testimonials. She was like, those skills I learned with Ellie, it helped me with my family. She could communicate much better with her parents. It helped her at the clinic. She's a doctor. So those skills benefit you in all life areas. And yes, it is literally a proven return on investment because you can see those testimonials. And I'm not saying it's overnight. So actually, you will have results already if in this magnetic muse container. But most of my clients need a couple months or maybe even a year to work on themselves. So be prepared to not give up after a month, to actually stick to this process as long as needed. We only give you this offer because we want you to work with us and see how you feel about it, um, and kind of like get a taste. But it's not an excuse to give up. I want you to commit for yourself for the next couple months that you work on yourself. You want to share anything?
Want to add here that it is true that these skills last a lifetime. So the skills that I learned when I was dating, and I was like practicing them with the men that I started, like the better quality men that I was attracting. I was practicing these skills, like how to communicate with men, how to not let my own blockages, sabotage my relationships, how to no longer self-sabotage, how to no longer push away the right men, how to no longer settle for breadcrumbs and bare minimum behavior from men. Like these skills actually are the very skills that helped me create this unshakable foundation with my husband now in my marriage. These are the skills that just because like it's not just for dating, it's not just about like attract good men, it's about learning how to really co-create a strong, harmonious, unshakable relationship. Because like, let's be honest, like it's life, and life will throw you many, many curveballs. Like there might be an elderly sick parent that you're like dealing with. Like for example, with my in my marriage, like I recently lost my father. Like I think it's been like a year and a half now that I lost my father. Like having, and then I lost my nephew, having sick parents, like death in the family, financial issues where my husband like had his own lounge and then it went from so much to nothing. And then he was able to come back up. Like having these skills is what maintained my relationship to be unshakable throughout all the curveballs of life, through the passing of, my father, my nephew, through the financial hardships that I witnessed my husband go through. Like if I did not have the skills to co-create a relationship through my feminine energy, if I'm being honest, like I don't know, either we would have walked separate ways or we would have had like a really unhealthy relationship that where neither one of us would have been happy and our needs would have been fulfilled, so these skills is something that is not just a one time like, oh, it's going to help you with this little thing. No, it helps you in all areas of your life. But because we're talking about your romantic life, your adult romantic connections, it is important to realize that these are the skills that are going to benefit you in that relationship that you do want in the future with your man for years and years and years to come. So it's not just a quick fix. These are like the strong foundational skills that are much, much needed for you to, and again, what are the skills, right? So we talked about a few in our masterclass today, but again, we can only talk about so many skills in the limited amount of time of the masterclass, and that's why Magnetic Muse is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity if you want to get deeper. Like, how do you communicate with a man? How do you, really relax into your body and attract masculine men? Like, how do you like get a line of masculine men who want to make your life easier, who want to take your problems away, the burdens of life away, who want to be a companion with you and not just, sit around on his phone all day watching videos and or playing video games for hours and then asking you if the food is ready, asking you if the dishes are done, asking you if, I don't know, did you buy my mom a present for her birthday coming up? you know?
No.
Absolutely. Is there a proven return? I would say 1,000%. Personally, that's what I would say.
Yes. Okay, so we have two more questions, quick ones, and then we are finishing. So I want to be authentic. I want to do it my own way. That is why you need to join our coaching program, because you get to have you get to have advice that is to you authentic values, desires, personality. Just like as I mentioned, if you say, I don't even want to get married now, I just want to date someone nice. Okay, this is your goal. We're gonna get a strategy that is perfect for you. For you, for your values, for your personality. Or if you say, I want this, I want that. So, you have to bring this up in this private container. And then one last question. What if I'm already in a relationship? What if I'm already seeing someone, or maybe in a situationship, or maybe you're already engaged and married? Like, you talk about finding great men, having all of that, but I don't really believe that I can have it because I'm with my man and he is not really nice to me, or there is no passion, or he maybe is not very high effort towards me. So I'm going to tell you a secret here, and that is, if a man is in your life already, he already is in your energy. So if there's some kind of commitment, men 90% of times do step up. Sometimes they don't, so there's really no guarantee here that exactly this guy is going to level up to your standards. We're going to talk about this more tomorrow. But in this situation, it's even more important you get the customized guidance so that you know how to communicate, to inspire your man to treat you well, to do high effort things. Because as I mentioned, in a relationship, it's the same thing, just like in dating. The same man can treat you well, just like Shanza said that her husband was a 50-50 man, now treats her like a queen. Yeah, that's what all men told me that I was dating that proposed to me. I used to treat women like 50-50, not do anything for them. And for you, I do everything. I just can't stop myself. I leave my own stuff, my own work, my own hobbies. I'm running to do things for you, to treat you high effort, to propose to you, because this is the effect you have on men. So don't let this thought that, oh, because I'm in a relationship already, I can't have this good treatment. I can't have my man providing for me. No, 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 you can have this too. Again, we work on a strategy just for you. It's going to be different than what you saw in this masterclass and what you're going to see tomorrow, because this strategy is mostly tailored to single women, but it's going to be similar, and where you can also raise your standards and attract more high effort treatment. So this is how we end here. For tomorrow, we are going to be talking about how to evoke a man's masculinity so that you receive high effort treatment, and also how to finish strong. So how to get a man's commitment, how to inspire him to commit, where he thinks it's his idea, where he's like getting the ring and like, being on his knee, wanting to propose, wanting to be with you. And again, not some type of man, but your dream man, right? And that's why we did today. The magnetism and abundant mindset is just so important, and the communication is just so important for you to be spotted and be really seen and valued by those top 1% men. Because when you are magnetic, more men will want to be with you, and you can just choose which one you want, right? And when you know how to receive in your feminine energy from those masculine men, you're a perfect match to those top 1% men. That's why this is so important. But tomorrow we're going to talk about how to inspire him even more to do high effort things for you, which are, remember, important, because a man falls in love when he does things for you. It's not even for you. I know you can get things done yourself. It's for him to fall in love, and how to get his commitment. And then we will also a little bit remind you about our offer, but it won't be that intense like today. And at the very end, we are going to do again an activation and meditation where you can step into your worthiness, the worthiness that you deserve to be taken care of. You deserve to be chosen. You deserve all of these beautiful things, because a lot of the times when we are not used to this behavior, we can't even like tap into the embodiment. Remember, we need two things: strategy and embodiment. And with that, we are ending today's call. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're interested in Magnetic Muse, make sure to join us here. We put the link in the description box. And sorry. And yeah, we see you tomorrow, and hopefully we won't go so much over time tomorrow. But it was just so much fun. So I really enjoyed it, and I think Shanza as well.
Ladies, thank you once again for joining us today. I really hope that you got a lot of the tips that you were looking for today. And tomorrow we get to go even deeper. And I really, really hope to see your beautiful, beautiful names come up again tomorrow. Please do join us live so that you can also ask your questions during Q&A. And we get to talk more about how to evoke masculine energy, how to have, present yourself as the type of woman that these healthy masculine men want, like the type of woman that they're craving. So, and we're of course going to share more with you about Magnetic Muse if you're interested. Once again, I want to remind you that if you do decide to join Magnetic Muse before Wednesday, you do get access to the bonus programs that Ellie had mentioned. And also, ladies, like, I'm really, really excited for tomorrow, and I really want to thank you so much for being here today, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye bye.
Bye.